In July 2020, the peaceful community of Sherwood Forest in Portland, Jamaica, became the site of a horrifying crime that shook the nation. Tonia McDonald, the second wife of wealthy businessman Everton Beachy Stout McDonald, was found brutally murdered near her burned car. Tonia's body bore multiple stab wounds, and her throat had been slashed, a gruesome end orchestrated by someone she should have been able to trust. This tragic event revealed a shocking conspiracy. Everton McDonald, a respected figure in the community, was accused of hiring hitmen to carry out his wife's murder. The crime was part of a calculated plan for financial gain and personal freedom, one that unraveled in courtrooms and headlines for years. But this wasn't the first time suspicion surrounded McDonald. Questions also resurfaced about the mysterious 2009 murder of his first wife, Merlene McDonald. This is a story of betrayal, greed, and the devastating consequences of unchecked ambition. As we piece together the events leading to Tonia's tragic death, we uncover a chilling tale of manipulation and loss that captivated the public and left a family in ruins. Before we dive deeper into this gripping case, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more detailed and thought-provoking true crime stories. Hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest episodes. Now, let's unravel the story of Tonia McDonald. Tonia McDonald was a vibrant and cherished member of her community in Jamaica. Born and raised in the picturesque parish of Portland, she grew up surrounded by the island's natural beauty, which instilled in her a deep appreciation for her homeland. Her parents, hardworking and devoted, provided a nurturing environment that emphasized the importance of family, education, and community values. From a young age, Tonia exhibited a keen intellect and a passion for learning. She attended local schools in Portland, where she was known for her diligence and friendly demeanor. Her teachers often praised her for her eagerness to participate in class and her willingness to help classmates, reflecting her compassionate nature. Beyond academics, Tonia had a creative spirit. She loved engaging in various forms of art, from painting to crafting, often spending her free time bringing her imaginative ideas to life. This creative outlet allowed her to express herself and brought joy to those around her, as she frequently gifted her artworks to friends and family. Tonia's love for her community was evident in her active participation in local events and initiatives. She volunteered at community centers, organized neighborhood cleanups, and was always ready to lend a helping hand to those in need. Her warm personality and genuine care for others made her a beloved figure in Portland. In her personal life, Tonia was known for her close-knit relationships. She maintained strong bonds with her family, often hosting gatherings that brought everyone together. Her friends admired her loyalty and the unwavering support she provided during both joyous and challenging times. Tonia's journey eventually led her to cross paths with businessman Everton Beachy Stout McDonald. Their relationship blossomed, leading to marriage, and Tonia embraced her role as a supportive partner. She was instrumental in various aspects of their shared life, contributing her creativity and compassion to their endeavors. Throughout her life, Tonia remained a beacon of positivity and resilience. Her love for Jamaica, dedication to her community, and the deep connections she fostered with those around her left an indelible mark on all who had the privilege of knowing her. Everton McDonald. Everton Beachy Stout McDonald was a well-known figure in the vibrant parish of Portland, Jamaica. He was a successful businessman whose ventures spanned various industries, including transportation and hospitality. Over the years, Everton built a reputation as a man of means, admired for his ambition and resourcefulness. To many, he represented the epitome of hard work and perseverance, someone who had turned modest beginnings into substantial success. Everton's charisma played a significant role in his rise to prominence. He was known for his confident demeanor and persuasive communication skills. Whether negotiating a business deal or mingling at social gatherings, he had a natural ability to connect with people. This charm, combined with his sharp business acumen, solidified his standing in Portland as a respected entrepreneur. Everton also had a love for the finer things in life. He enjoyed luxury cars, elegant suits, and extravagant events. His presence was always commanding, and people often spoke about the way he carried himself with an air of authority. He loved to host events at his properties, bringing together influential individuals from across Jamaica. These gatherings became a hallmark of his life, showcasing not only his wealth but also his generosity. Though admired by many, Everton's ambitious nature made him a polarizing figure. Some envied his success, while others were drawn to his larger-than-life persona. He often inspired young entrepreneurs who aspired to replicate his achievements, though his methods were sometimes questioned. Nevertheless, Everton's influence in Portland remained undisputed. Tonia McDonald and Everton McDonald's paths crossed in what seemed like a serendipitous moment. Tonia, with her warm personality and genuine nature, had always attracted people effortlessly. Everton, on the other hand, was accustomed to making bold impressions. Their meeting brought together two individuals from different worlds, each carrying their unique experiences and aspirations. For Tonia, meeting Everton was both exciting and intimidating. He was unlike anyone she had ever known, confident, successful, and commanding attention wherever he went. At first, she wasn't sure how to navigate his larger-than-life presence. But Everton's charm had a way of putting people at ease. He was attentive, engaging, and knew how to make someone feel special. Everton was equally intrigued by Tonia. Her kindness and humility was a different life from the business-oriented world he was accustomed to. Tonia's love for community and her creative spirit fascinated him. She brought a sense of authenticity and warmth that he found refreshing, qualities he felt were missing in his otherwise high-profile life. Their connection grew gradually, fueled by Everton's determination to win her over. He spared no effort in showing Tonia how much he admired her, often going out of his way to make her feel valued. Tonia, in turn, began to see a different side of Everton. Beneath his confident exterior was a man who sought companionship and understanding, someone who longed for a meaningful connection. As they spent more time together, Tonia found herself drawn to Everton's world. He introduced her to experiences she had never imagined, lavish dinners, elegant parties, and the thrill of being part of a life filled with ambition and opportunity. Though these experiences were new to her, Tonia's grounded nature allowed her to navigate them with grace. For Tonia, being with Everton was like stepping into a different chapter of her life. She admired his drive and the way he carried himself, yet she never let it overshadow her own values and identity. Everton, in return, appreciated Tonia's unwavering support in her ability to bring warmth and authenticity into his life. Their relationship was not without challenges. Everton's world was one of constant activity and high expectations, while Tonia cherished simplicity and meaningful connections. However, they worked to find common ground, blending their different lifestyles into a partnership that seemed full of promise. Their relationship eventually led to marriage, marking a significant milestone in both their lives. For Tonia, it was a new beginning filled with hope and opportunity. She embraced her role as Everton's wife with the same kindness and enthusiasm that defined her personality. In the early days of their relationship, Tonia's family and friends often spoke about how happy she seemed. Everton's influence introduced her to new opportunities, while Tonia's compassion softened some of Everton's edges. Their union was a blend of different worlds, creating a partnership that appeared strong and promising. Their time together became a blend of adventure and intimacy. Everton, a man accustomed to the fast-paced life of business and social gatherings, began to slow down in Tonia's presence. They would stroll along the quiet beaches of Portland, the sound of the waves creating a soothing rhythm to their conversations. Sometimes, they explored the lush countryside, where Everton found himself enjoying the simplicity of nature, something Tonia had always cherished. For Tonia, these moments were transformative. While she appreciated the luxury Everton offered, it was the quiet times that truly captured her heart. She saw a softer side of him, a man willing to step away from his public persona and simply be present. It was during these times that Tonia began to feel the depth of her growing affection for him. Everton's decision to propose was not a spontaneous act but one that came after months of reflection. He knew Tonia was unlike anyone he had ever met. Her kindness, resilience, and unwavering support had left an indelible mark on him. He wanted her by his side, not just as a companion but as a partner in every sense of the word. The proposal itself was an event that reflected both their personalities. Everton, true to his nature, ensured it was grand and unforgettable, while Tonia's reaction brought warmth and sincerity to the moment. He chose a location that held significance for them, a place where they had shared many cherished memories. As he presented the ring, Everton spoke from the heart, expressing his love and admiration for Tonia in a way that left her deeply moved. For Tonia, the proposal was a culmination of everything they had built together. It wasn't just about the ring or the setting but the journey they had shared. She felt a mix of excitement and gratitude, knowing she was stepping into a future with someone who valued her as much as she valued him. Their wedding was a reflection of their unique bond, a blend of elegance and heartfelt intimacy. Everton spared no expense in ensuring the day was memorable, while Tonia focused on the meaningful details that made it special for their loved ones. The ceremony took place in a picturesque setting, surrounded by the natural beauty of Portland. Friends and family gathered to celebrate their union, creating an atmosphere filled with joy and love. The early days of their marriage were filled with excitement and fulfillment. Tonia embraced her role as Everton's wife with the same dedication and warmth she brought to every aspect of her life. She became an integral part of his world, supporting his endeavors while maintaining her own identity. The crime that ended Tonia's life. On July 20, 2020, the serene community of Sherwood Forest in Portland, Jamaica, was shaken by a heinous crime. The lifeless body of 32-year-old Tonia McDonald was discovered along a deserted road, her throat slashed and bearing multiple stab wounds. The brutality of the act sent shockwaves through the community, leaving many in disbelief that such violence could touch someone as kind-hearted and beloved as Tonia. As investigations unfolded, a chilling narrative emerged. Evidence pointed to Tonia's husband, Everton "Beachy Stout" McDonald, as the orchestrator of her murder. Prosecutors revealed that Everton had contracted a man named Denvelin "Bubble" Minot to carry out the killing. Minot, who later confessed to his involvement, disclosed that he had been offered a substantial sum to end Tonia's life. He also implicated another accomplice, Oscar Barnes, in the execution of the crime. The motive behind this gruesome act was rooted in marital discord. Testimonies during the trial indicated that Tonia had been attempting to distance herself from Everton, with plans to leave the matrimonial home. Her mother testified that Tonia was trying to run away from him, suggesting a relationship fraught with tension and fear. This desire for separation may have threatened Everton's sense of control, leading him to take drastic and violent measures. In the months leading up to her death, Tonia's life had been marked by a blend of public appearances and private struggles. As the wife of a prominent businessman, she was often seen at social events, maintaining a poised and graceful demeanor. However, behind closed doors, it became evident that her marriage was unraveling. Friends and family noted changes in her behavior, describing her as more withdrawn and anxious, though she seldom spoke openly about the challenges she faced. The investigation into Tonia's murder was thorough and meticulous. Law enforcement officials gathered forensic evidence, including phone records and witness testimonies, which painted a damning picture of Everton's involvement. The trial that followed was closely watched by the public, with many seeking justice for Tonia and hoping for answers to the questions surrounding her tragic end. During the trial, Minot testified that he had plotted to kill Tonia at his house, revealing the premeditated nature of the crime. He also disclosed that he had an intimate relationship with Tonia, adding a complex layer to the case. These revelations highlighted the intricate web of relationships and deceit that ultimately led to Tonia's demise. The jury deliberated for just over an hour before delivering a guilty verdict for both Everton and Barnes. The swiftness of the decision underscored the compelling evidence presented against them. In September 2024, Everton was sentenced to life in prison for his role in orchestrating his wife's murder, with the possibility of parole after 20 years. Barnes received a similar sentence, reflecting the gravity of their actions. Tonia's family expressed a sense of relief and justice following the sentencing. Her mother, in particular, felt that the verdict brought some closure, though the pain of losing her daughter remained. The community, too, found solace in the fact that those responsible for such a heinous act were held accountable. In July 2020, a meticulously planned and brutal act led to the tragic death of Tonia McDonald. The orchestrator of this heinous crime was her husband, Everton "Beachy Stout" McDonald, a prominent businessman in Portland, Jamaica. Seeking to end his wife's life, Everton enlisted the services of Denvelin "Bubble" Minot, a known contract killer. Minot, in turn, involved an accomplice named Oscar Barnes to execute the plan. The scheme was set into motion when Everton contacted Minot, offering him a substantial sum to murder Tonia. Minot, who had a history of criminal activities, agreed to the proposition. Recognizing the need for assistance, he approached Oscar Barnes, a man with a reputation for involvement in illicit dealings, to aid in carrying out the murder. On the fateful day, Minot lured Tonia under the pretense of a meeting, exploiting her trust and familiarity with him. Unaware of the impending danger, Tonia accompanied Minot to a secluded area in Sherwood Forest, Portland. There, Barnes awaited, prepared to commit the gruesome act. Upon arrival, the men attacked Tonia with brutal force. She suffered multiple stab wounds, and her throat was viciously slashed, indicating a high degree of brutality and intent to ensure her death. To conceal their involvement and destroy evidence, they set her vehicle ablaze, leaving her lifeless body near the burning car. The discovery of Tonia's body sent shockwaves through the community, as the violent nature of the crime was both alarming and uncharacteristic of the area. Initial investigations pointed to a possible car accident due to the burned vehicle. However, the stab wounds and the manner of her death quickly led authorities to suspect foul play. Following the brutal murder of Tonia McDonald, law enforcement swiftly initiated an intensive investigation to apprehend those responsible. The breakthrough came when Denvelin "Bubble" Minot, one of the conspirators, was detained and chose to cooperate with authorities. His detailed confession implicated both Everton "Beachy Stout" McDonald, Tonia's husband, and Oscar Barnes in the orchestration and execution of the crime. With Minot's testimony providing a clear narrative of the events leading to Tonia's death, the police moved to arrest Everton McDonald and Oscar Barnes. The arrests were conducted without incident, and both men were taken into custody to face charges related to the murder. The arraignment of McDonald and Barnes took place in the Home Circuit Court, where they were formally charged with murder and conspiracy to commit murder. During the proceedings, the prosecution presented the evidence gathered, including Minot's confession, which detailed the planning and execution of the murder. The court was informed of the financial arrangement between McDonald and Minot, highlighting the premeditated nature of the crime. The motive behind the murder was rooted in marital discord and Everton's desire to extricate himself from the relationship without the complications of a divorce. Financial considerations and personal grievances contributed to his decision to resort to such a violent and irreversible solution. The involvement of multiple individuals in the crime, each playing a specific role, highlighted the calculated and deliberate efforts to end Tonia's life. The betrayal by those she trusted, particularly her husband, added a layer of tragedy to the already horrific circumstances of her death. This case drew significant media attention, not only because of the brutal nature of the crime but also due to the prominence of the individuals involved. The community grappled with the revelation that a respected businessman could mastermind such a callous act against his spouse. Both defendants entered pleas of not guilty, prompting the case to proceed to trial. The trial attracted significant public and media attention, given the prominence of the individuals involved and the heinous nature of the crime. Throughout the trial, the prosecution relied heavily on Minot's testimony, which provided an insider's perspective on the conspiracy. He recounted how McDonald had approached him with the proposition to kill Tonia, the financial incentives offered, and the involvement of Barnes in carrying out the act. Minot's cooperation was secured through a plea deal, wherein he agreed to testify against McDonald and Barnes in exchange for a reduced sentence. This arrangement was instrumental in building a robust case against the defendants, as Minot's first-hand account corroborated other pieces of evidence presented by the prosecution. The defense sought to challenge Minot's credibility, suggesting that his testimony was self-serving and motivated by the desire for leniency. However, the consistency of his account, coupled with supporting evidence such as phone records and forensic findings, reinforced the prosecution's case. As the trial progressed, the jury was presented with a comprehensive overview of the events leading to Tonia's death, the roles played by each conspirator, and the motivations behind the crime. The prosecution emphasized the betrayal and premeditation involved, painting a grim picture of a husband willing to orchestrate his wife's murder for personal gain. After deliberations, the jury returned guilty verdicts for both McDonald and Barnes on charges of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. The verdicts were met with a sense of relief and justice by Tonia's family, who had endured the harrowing details of the trial in their quest for accountability. The sentencing phase followed, during which the court considered the gravity of the crime, the premeditated nature of the act, and the impact on the victim's family. Both McDonald and Barnes were sentenced to life imprisonment, with eligibility for parole after a specified period. The sentences reflected the court's recognition of the severity of the offense and the need for a deterrent to such acts of domestic violence. The conclusion of the trial and the sentencing of the perpetrators brought a measure of closure to the community and highlighted the effectiveness of the judicial system in addressing such grievous crimes. Tonia's tragic death and the subsequent legal proceedings underscored the importance of vigilance and support in situations of domestic discord, prompting ongoing discussions about preventive measures and support systems for individuals in vulnerable circumstances. Tonia McDonald's life ended in the most heartbreaking way, a cruel betrayal by the one person who was supposed to love, cherish, and protect her. The man she trusted as her husband, Everton McDonald, orchestrated a gruesome plan to take her life. This tragic end was not only horrifying but deeply stirring, leaving her family, friends, and community reeling from the loss of a woman whose presence brought light to so many lives. Tonia's murder wasn't just an act of violence, it was a deliberate, cold-hearted betrayal. Everton, a man who once vowed to stand by her side through life's challenges, planned her death as though her life held no value. He paid a killer to take away the mother, daughter, sister, and friend that Tonia was to those who loved her. The weight of this betrayal is unbearable to imagine. She was attacked in the most vicious way, stabbed multiple times, her throat slashed, her body left near her burning car. It was as if every wound inflicted on her was a denial of her worth and humanity. The man who should have shielded her from harm became the architect of her demise, and the thought of her final moments is haunting. Did she cry out for help? Did she wonder why this was happening? Did she think of her family and the love she still had to give? Tonia's death sent shockwaves through her family. Her loved ones, who had cherished her vibrant personality and generous heart, were left shattered. The sheer brutality of her death was hard to comprehend, and the knowledge that someone so close to her was responsible made the pain even deeper. Her parents lost their daughter, her children lost their mother. Their lives were forever scarred by the void she left behind. This tragedy also echoed far beyond her family. It shook the very foundations of her community, highlighting the often hidden dangers of domestic abuse and betrayal. Tonia's story became a painful reminder that sometimes, the greatest threats come from within the walls of one's home. It spurred conversations about the warning signs of abusive relationships and the urgent need for societal support to protect vulnerable individuals. The implications of Tonia's death extend to society as a whole. Her case served as a grim reminder of how unchecked power, entitlement, and a lack of accountability can lead to unimaginable cruelty. People who once viewed Everton as a respectable businessman now saw him as a symbol of deceit and violence. Trust within the community was eroded, as everyone grappled with the question, how could a man so successful and admired commit such an unforgivable act? For Tonia's children, the loss is felt more deeply. They not only lost their mother but also their father, who will now spend his life in prison for the crime. The psychological toll of knowing that their father orchestrated their mother's murder is immeasurable. They are left to navigate a future overshadowed by this tragedy, their lives forever marked by the violent act that tore their family apart. Tonia's story is one of heartbreak and loss, but it also carries an urgent message. It reminds us of the importance of paying attention to the signs of trouble in relationships and the need to protect those who might be at risk. It calls for stronger community awareness and a collective effort to prevent such tragedies from happening again. Above all, Tonia's story demands that her life, and her death, be remembered. She was a woman full of life, love, and dreams. Her story is not just about how she died but about the legacy she left behind. It is a plea for justice, awareness, and change so that no other family has to endure the pain that hers continues to carry.